Hey guys, before we jump into this video, the guys there at Rhino Games have been nice enough to send everybody who signed up to their mailing list out a couple of codes. Each person can only use one code. I already used mine. They sent out 3 per person, so I'm going to do a little giveaway here. I already did one giveaway on my Twitter, so feel free to follow right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do another giveaway here on this video. So I'm going to post the giveaway information in the description. Feel free to check it out and sign up and hopefully win some free packs. It'll be 10 packs, 10 common wild cards, 6 uncommon wild cards, 2 rare wild cards, and 1 mythic wild card. So that'll really help you to fill out your collection, maybe craft some cards you're missing for one of my decks, and really just get a really good head start on your Mythgard journey. This is only for people who haven't redeemed they consider them treat codes. It starts with the word treat. So if you haven't redeemed a treat code, feel free to sign up. If you have, unfortunately, you won't be able to redeem another one. You're only able to do 1 per account. So, if you haven't had one, if you're a new player looking to get into the game, this deck that I'm actually about to go over is very budget friendly. So this will really help to make sure that you can get all of the cards for this deck and really have a really good start for your Mythgard journey. And it'll also unlock 2 paths and 2 powers for you. So if you don't already have all of those unlocked, this will help you get a jump start so you can get to making some decks and playing some games. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the video. Again, details for the giveaway are in the description here, and let's hop into the video. Hey, what's up, Mythgardians? Cool Cat here with another Mythgard deck. Today we're going to be looking at a blue and red deck that focuses on using enchantments to get the most out of your rush minions. This is a pretty budget-friendly list. There's only about 6 rares. The rest are all common and uncommon. And there are lots of different replacements that you can use for this deck if you are missing some cards. So feel free to ask me either in the YouTube comments down below, on Twitter, wherever, or just throw whatever you want in that deck. It'll pretty much work with anything as long as it's a good statted aggressive minion. So you know the drill. We'll go ahead and look over the list, hop into some replays with a short conclusion afterwards. Alright, so going into the list, we're going to be going over the path and the power first. For the path, we went with the Rainbow's End. Our deck has 12 enchantments, which is going to pretty much all but guarantee a draw at the end of our turn. And what it'll also do is make sure that we're filtering our draws so that we're not drawing any enchantments as opposed to different minions or spells that we would need instead. And then for the power, we went with Impel. Impel is going to help us move our minions around on our enchantments, make sure that they are on the right ones to get the most value possible, and also to dodge around any blockers or anything like that might be an issue. And then going into the list, I'm going to kind of go over this list in more of a package mindset instead of just running down card for card. So we have first the Enchantment Package, which is going to be our Singing Stone. All of your minions have +1/+1 while they're occupying enchantments. Your Demolition Speedway, +2, 0, and Overrun. It's really, really good with some of our rush minions, specifically our Panic Raider. It's going to make sure that that breach effect goes off and you do get that card draw even when they have blockers in place. We also have our Earth Slide. It's going to make an Earth Slide elemental on each of the unoccupied enchantments, so that'll just let you fill your board for a final push there at the end. We have our Tailroot Worm. It's going to get +2/+2 when occupying an enchantment, so that'll get really big. It's basically a mid-game bomb for you. We have our Giant Stairway, +3/+3 for the occupying minion. It's basically going to make anything huge. And then we also have our Orpheum of Horrors. This is really good early game enchantment. So whenever a minion dies on it, it deals 1 damage to all minions and players. It'll help keep the opponent's board clear. It'll get some chip damage down on their face. And it's just overall extremely helpful in the early game. We have our wheel here. It's going to suppress enemy enchantments, so throw this down in front of a Bald Mountain, throw this down in front of their Giant Stairway or Junkyard Valhalla. Make sure that they don't get any value out of their enchantments. And then last enchantment we're going to have is Red Carnival. It's extremely good with rush minions. Throw this down and then throw a Trapezist or something along those lines on top of it. Trade off a bunch of minions, and then it'll just make a really, really big rush thing you can throw at their face. And then moving forward, we're going to have our Rush package, which includes the Daring Trapezist, really simple 2-mana 2/2 Rush. We have our Iron Belly Wyvern, 3-mana 3/2 Rush with Teleport, so that'll let you jump from enchantment to enchantment very easily with the Infuse. We have our Panic Raider. It's some card draw, some face damage, possibly some clear on top of the Demolition Speedway. And then we have our board control, our clears and things like that with our Thunderclap, deal 2 damage to all of the opponent things, including the opponent's face. We have 1 Magmatar, deal 3 damage to the minions in the opposing 3 lanes. We have 2 Ignitions to take care of any pesky early game blockers, as well as just some additional burn damage if needed. And then we just have our Pup here. It's going to be the best 1-drop for red, possibly even the best 1-drop in the game right now. The life tap on 1 is extremely helpful. Throw this on top of a giant stairway. You're going to have a 5/4, possibly a 6/4 if you have a Singing Stone out. That's going to gain a lot of life. That'll help you, in any racing situations. If you're racing your opponent in an aggro v aggro matchup, so that'll gain you some life, deal damage to them. Really good to swing health that way. And then we have our final late game bomb in the Hyperborean, just a 6/8 overrun. It's going to be really good on any of our enchantments. It gets regen while on an enchantment, so it'll be hard for the opponent to take down if they don't have a single thing to bring it down, like Sapo or Vicious Cycle or anything like that, any hard removal. It's hard to chip down with that regen. And then other than that, I think that'll just about do it. So we have our enchantment package, we have our rush package, and our board control package, and then just a late game bomb to drop down at the end to close any games out. So that is the list here. We're going to hop into some replays and see exactly how it runs. Alright, so the first match we're going to be heading into is against Nick Gnome, high gold player. So this is going to show you exactly the power of how this deck can curve out. Generally, when you're burning, you're going to want to burn enchantments so that your rainbow can pick them back up. So I'm going to burn that off, drop the Pup in the corner here. And they are playing a similar deck, actually, a red-blue rush deck. And then I'm going to burn off the draw. It's pretty gem intensive, and I already have one in hand, so I'm not too worried about keeping it. And then we pull a wheel. We're probably actually going to burn that next turn. It's not the best draw, the best enchantment to get right now. And we could definitely use the mana for some other options, but we'll just burn the Orpheum. We don't really have much need for it right now. And then drop down another Trapezist. And we really got them on the back foot here. They're just throwing their rush minions into our rush minions, but we are actually getting our rush damage off, so we're in a little better spot than they are. So we're just going to keep throwing this damage to their face and then just try to burst them down as quick as possible. They throw a fat blocker right in front of us, but that's not too bad with this Ignition. We can easily take care of this and then burn another card and draw some more with our Ichor Feast. So that'll give us a good refill on our hand. We're at 31 life, so we don't really care about losing 3 of it. And then we draw some real good gas here in our Trapezist and our Wyvern. They finally have the initiative, so they're going to start trying to burn us down there. But we are way ahead of them. We have a bunch of gas in our hand. We're just going to knock this down real quick. Throw our Wyvern down, smash him in the face, and then throw a Pup down right next to it to set up for lethal next turn. So unless they can kill both of these minions, we can easily drop a stairway under the Pup and then throw it face with this overrun's going to be easy, but they kill it with the Fire Eater. So that kind of puts a damper on our game plan here. We only have 2 damage with the overrun and they're at 6. So we do get a top decked Thunderclap, so we can just throw that down, deal 2 to everything, and that'll make our overrun damage exact lethal. So that really shows the power of how this deck can curve out and really end games relatively quickly for a mid-range style deck. So our next game, we're going to show what happens if we don't have that good start, how we can still close the game out in our favor and pull out the win. Alright, so this next match is going to be against Inverted. He's currently one of Mythgard's only champions. So this will show you exactly how strong this deck is. It's even beating the best of the best when it comes to the ranked ladder, and even though it doesn't have the best start that it could possibly have, we don't have any plays until turn 3 unless you count dropping an enchantment. So it's really going to be kind of difficult to get anything going, but we're going to drop this Speedway right in front of this turn 1 Kolobok. That's a really scary sight to see, but hopefully we can get that cleared with one of our rushers. So we can definitely do that. He only moved once and swung, so we're going to throw this Panic Raider down and get that card draw so we can draw some more stuff so that we don't run out of resources here. We do have a lot of expensive things in our hands, so we really just want to draw some of our minions. Right now we only have the 2 Wyverns and the Magmatar. The rest are going to be enchantments and an Earth Slide. So it's a really good setup for later on, but we kind of want to close this game out quick. They're ramping up pretty fast with the Kolobok, and they're going to be able to filter their draws pretty well with that Shopworn Bull. So we're just going to start to put down the pressure here and start going wide so that it's a lot more difficult to block. They're filtering their draws. They ignition our 3/1 Wyvern, so that's going to hurt. And then they drop another Bull down on the far right side to block our pop. That's not too big of a deal because we're just going to end up dropping this Stairway and getting that easy trade and life gain. So that'll put us at 29 health. That'll clear one of their Bulls. They do still have 1 left, but they only have 4 cards in hand, so I'm not too worried about it. And they do drop the Huntress. That's going to get a really easy trade, and then they drop that down to suppress our Giant's Stairway, so that'll just kill the pup out real quick. So that's going to hurt a lot. I do make a misplay here. I ignition the warded minion, so it does nothing, and I waste 1 mana, 1 gem, 1 card. So I just decide to kill it off with my Wyvern there, get that enchantment back up and running. And they're still over here just filtering through their deck, making sure that they have the best possible cards in their hand. They kill off my Wyvern. I finally pull a bomb here with our Hyperborean. I throw that down to try to kill off this Bull once and for all next turn. But not until they get a little bit more value out of it. Of course, they're going to keep filtering through their hand. They're going to drop that down to shut off our enchantment. We're not too worried about it. That's only going to take down 2 damage. It still has the overrun effect, so it's pretty good. We're going to draw some more. We're running low on cards, so we're going to drop our Breach draw and then play the Ichor Feast and get 4 cards real quick. That Thunderclap might come in handy, but both of those enchantments give off warded, so it may not come in very much handy at all. But they do decide to drop that over there to clear off our draw, so we can easily Thunderclap to kill that because it has the fragile 1 because it's winter for Inverted. We'll swing that 9 damage face and drop both of our Trapezes here and get 4 more damage and set up for lethal next turn. So we're at a real good spot. Even though we didn't have the best start, we did end up being able to pull it out. They do play the Gigantomachia to clear off our Hyperborean, but we do have the Demolition Speedway here for the exact lethal. We're going to drop the Worm there for some BM, and Speedway, easy game. So that shows, even when you don't have the best curve, still able to close out games pretty easily with the enchantments and our bombs there in the deck. And that's the deck. So it's a pretty quick deck. It's not exactly aggro. You do have to take a couple of turns to set up your enchantments. So I'd consider it just more of a quicker mid-range deck. It does have a couple of those bombs to throw down in the mid to late game to really shut down the opponent and just close out the game as best you can with the Earth Slide, the Hyperborean, and the Tailroot Worm. So it's not exactly just a churn and burn kind of deck, but it does have a lot of the rush minions, so you can definitely close out games pretty quickly with the right draw. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments there. Like if you like, and subscribe for more Mythgard content. And remember, GG for Matt.